here in Prospect, Oregon at the Prospect ORV Park. It's just in between Union and Prospect. Down this way, there's loops everywhere, so there's plenty of room. There was people camping in places I couldn't even believe they were fitting some of these big fifth wheels way down on these little creek roads. So anyways, I just wanted to make a little trip around Crater Lake and just see what there is to see, because it's about 2,500 feet higher than where I'm at right now. The rim of Crater Lake's around 6,500 feet. So I'm about like 4,000 feet right now. So it's going to be quite a temperature change, that's for sure. It was about 40 to 45 degrees on the rim this morning. So hopefully it warmed up to maybe 60 or something like that, because right now it's like maybe 85, 90 out. Okay, I'm just going to cruise down the road. It's about 35 miles down the road. So I'll be back when I get there. And just as a side note, I'm coming in the west entrance of Crater Lake. I'm coming up 62. This is a pretty busy road. There's a lot of people that are driving through here. Okay, so this is 62 West, and it's right on the border of Jackson County. And there must be a Porsche meet or something like that, because I just passed like almost 100 Porsches and Ferraris, Corvettes, all kinds of supercars. So this is a nice road to do it, because there's a lot of curves. And there's a lot of it's either 30, it's somewhere between 35 and 55 pretty much the entire way, but it's a lot of S curves, a lot of switchbacks. So it's just a great place to go when it's a hot day, because this is way up there. I'm gaining altitude. I think I'm at like around 6,000. I'm almost to the park right now. So I got a little bit further to go and I'll be there. So when you get up to the top of Crater Lake here, this is like one of the many summits here, but they don't let you drive around. I'm coming up through the west end and I'm heading north, and this is the closest you can get to Wizard Island that's out here. This is the old volcano. This used to be just a huge mountain, like a big volcano, and apparently it erupted millions of years ago, and it left this little island that they call Wizard Island. And that island is apparently still an active volcano, potentially. But this thing is pretty tall still. I mean, the very top of it, they call that the Witch's Cauldron. So that is pretty interesting fact. I did see a boat out here. This is really vast. I think it's like 5 or 10 miles across here. But it is very scenic. There's tons of snow still. I mean, there's some spots, there's probably almost 10 feet of snow, if not more, in some of these crevices. I bet it's almost 20 feet. But this goes straight down. There's lots of signage that says stay away from the edge because you might fall all the way to the bottom. So you're going to pass a whole bunch of those signs. And just I don't know, cool place to go. I'm really disappointed that you can't drive all the way around the rim anymore. But they say it's open through the summer, and it is summertime, and it's still closed. So that's unfortunate, because it's all paved. I don't see why they would have to close off probably at least 40 miles of road, it seemed like. But I'm going to try and get around on the other side and see how far you can go way over there, because the entrance is like right over this way. So I only came in like 10 miles so far, and I came to, I don't know, I came through like, there's like a cafe you're gonna pass by and everything else. So I don't know, I'm gonna see how far I can go around the rim of Crater Lake. So when you're at Crater Lake, you can stop at many of the endless parking lots they have everywhere. There's just parking lots probably every quarter mile, and there's groomed trails all over the place. And this is where you can kind of escape from all of the busybodies that don't really get off and walk around, because there's lots of people just going to the top of the rim just to take pictures. So I just thought it'd be nice just to take a little walk off the beaten path. And there's like streams all over the place. Like everywhere you go, there's going to be snow melt, and there's lots of streams. And this one, whoa, I'm just sliding straight down this mountain here. Oh, jeez. All right, so there's going to be lots of streams and lots of places to discover. If you feel like walking, bring your hiking shoes, because there's tons of people just walking out in the middle of nowhere. And this is one of the few places you can go and see tons and tons of snow, because I'm at an elevation at about, I think, almost 7,000 feet, something like that. So it's plenty of places to get away, and hopefully I can drive around the rim. One thing you're definitely going to see when you're driving around Crater Lake is a lot of do not enter and no trespassing signs. They shut down a lot of the roads. So hopefully they didn't shut down half of the park for no reason, but I'm going to go check it out and keep on trucking. So apparently this is the extent of Crater Lake. I went about maybe 10 miles at most. It takes about 40 miles to get around this place. So that's how much is apparently shut down. All right, so this is my exciting video from Crater Lake. You're gonna see a whole bunch of everything's closed for some reason. There are places to stay. There's a couple campgrounds. Like this is the main campground. As soon as you come in here, you're going to take a right. I think it's Mazame or something like that, campground. But they have a lot of sites here. You probably have to book it before you get here. But it seems like a lot of them are empty. And there's other camping spots, little tiny spots you can pull over. But there's a cafe on the top of the rim here. And there is also a lodge there. There's a lodge at the bottom here also, as soon as you get in here. But unfortunately, it seems like a lot of this stuff is closed down, so you can't really access most of Crater Lake. So, I don't know. I was expecting so much more. Come on out, enjoy it. So something else that you're going to see when you're cruising down some mountain road in the middle of nowhere is occasionally somebody might leave their old busted car just laying around. And this car probably served a lot of nice trips up in the mountains. What is this? Looks like an old Saturn. It's got a lot of potential if you're a Saturn owner. It comes with an unburned tire. But unfortunately, it seems that everything else is totally burnt out of this old sad car. And what else? Hopefully not a dead body. Don't be a dead body. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, all right. So, nothing to worry about here. Just an old abandoned car. You're going to see these all the time when you're out in the middle of nowhere. People just had a breakdown or something like that, and it costs too much to tow it, so they just leave it. And considering it's only a Saturn, it probably wasn't worth much anyways. Although it was probably a nice car at one time. You know, back in the 90s, Saturns were like, everybody wanted a Saturn, didn't they? All right, anyways. Also, check out the size of these maple leaves. These things are like, look how big that is. Compared to my hand, that's almost like 10, 12 inches across. It's crazy. But they grow super tall. I can't believe how tall some of these little trees just take off. I'm going to keep rolling down these forestry roads here because they just go I've already done like 70 miles today, I think. And they just keep interlinking with other roads and other roads. And then there's this road. And then there's like, they just keep dividing into areas. And it's surprising how many times when you really think you're out in the middle of nowhere, and then somebody's got a nice little ranch house, probably like 30, 40 miles from town, and just down some dirt road, and you least expect it, which is totally crazy. But whatever. I mean, if that's how you can do it, if you can homestead and make it work, more power to you, because I would love to do something like that. That would be awesome. But anyways, it was just a great view, other than kind of, I don't know, looking for Sasquatch out in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure he's out here somewhere in the greater expanse of Oregon. All right, I'm going to keep rolling down the road. I just wanted to check out some of these trails, and I saw this old abandoned car in the shade, so I just wanted to kind of stretch my legs and keep heading down the road. All right, now I found this big plant. I thought it was a raspberry plant at first, and as far as I've researched, it's kind of a cousin of the raspberry plant. It's called the salmonberry plant, and apparently it's found in kind of the northwest area, and I think parts of like North Carolina, but it only grows in certain areas. It has to be in partial shade. I think the pH was around like 6 or 7%. Like if you see some of these, it looks just like a raspberry plant, but a little bit bigger. And they are just everywhere. So I'm gonna fill up. I got my little cup. So far I got not too many in there, but I'm gonna fill up this cup and make like, I don't know, maybe some jam or something like that. I'm gonna throw it in my food processor for sure, because these things don't usually last longer than like 2 days or something like that. Like kind of like the mulberry bush. You can barely find it in the store because the shelf life is like under 3 days. So you gotta eat this stuff right away. Some people make like a wine or beer out of this stuff. Actually, these leaves too. You can actually, the leaves are edible, and some people actually take even the younger stalks. You can actually make food out of that too. So if you research the salmonberry bush, it's got tons of like medicinal, it's got all kinds of stuff that's good for you. It's got a lot of vitamin A, vitamin C in it, and anything's good. I mean, just any of this stuff is like healthy for you. It's free food, and I'm not going to pass this up, that's for sure. Well, so far I haven't found too many berries, just enough to bury the bottom of my cup. So I'm just going to keep heading back. I keep walking around and I haven't seen any except for that one little patch, and I'm like, I walked about a quarter mile so far. But anyways, you just never know what you're going to see. Sometimes I'm surprised how many of these white flowers you see around here. There's just like hundreds in some of these spots, and then there's nothing. Kind of like those berries, those salmon berries I was looking at. And then you get to see some of these, like these purple plants. It's amazing how detailed some of these plants are. I don't know what kind of plants these are, but they sure do have a lot of distinct little prints on each one of these petals. So I thought that was pretty cool too. I'm gonna go make me an energy drink with some salmon berries. I guess they taste like rhubarb, so I can't wait to try that out. I know a lot of people pick these things up in the Northwest, so if you're ever up here, come on out and come look for some of these salmon berries. These are pretty good size too. So when you walk down this little incline here, you come to a whole bunch of places where people have laid all kinds of stuff. I don't know if this is like a real burial site or if this is like a memorial site, but there's all kinds of stuff here, along with this epic view. They got like a burning pit. Yeah, look at all this stuff. They got like tons of people have left a lot of stuff here on this beautiful site here. They got old Buddy, they got Zeke, and they even got a practice golf mat here for your driving. What else they got? They got all kinds of people. There's a whole bunch of people here as a remembrance of Jim's Lookout. And look at this. This is the edge of the cliff. I mean, I'm not even joking. Here's my feet. And it goes straight down because there are no trees below me. This is like, you can't even see the treetops until it's like probably a good 50 yards, 100 yards out. And it just drops straight out. And look at that view. You got all kinds of great vistas. But anyways, I just thought this was totally worth a stop. This old remembrance place. So I just thought, it's right on the side of the road. Why not stop here? Besides, it's one of the very few places in this area where I have cell phone service. And they have this great bench to sit down on. Look at this thing. Look at this wonderful bench. They got all kinds of Jeff's viewing, and people have signed it all over the place. So I thought I would just pop a squat and make a few phone calls and just kind of relax. Just checking out this beautiful view. You can see for probably a good 100 miles at least. Oh my gosh, that's where I came from. I drove like from out that way like eight hours almost yesterday. So this is my moment of relaxation before I go grill up some chicken and make some potatoes. Anyways, I'm gonna keep heading down the road and see what else there is to see.